We're live.
We're live any minute.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! I think we could literally write a song now on this live. I feel.
I thought we were on the mic.
On the mic.
You can sing, and I absolutely definitely cannot sing. Okay, hello everybody. It's me, Helen, and this is Matt Hall. Everybody, woo!
Hello everybody. Woo, 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 woo.
You actually stood up. Have you got a standing desk?
Because I've just been going through my slides, getting ready. Yeah, it's one that goes up and down.
I'll let you off then.
Like that.
Yeah, and you're such an influencer, pro marketing influencer. Look at you go.
Don't call me that.
Where is my book? There it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you stood up now, so I couldn't see it.
There you go. Next to Mel Robbins, Let Them. You're in front of Mel Robbins.
At least this is all my original idea. Hey, Cassie, what's your name?
Boom. There you go.
Right. Okay, let's get cracking because I don't want to take up too much of your time because, Matt Hall, tonight is the night. Tonight is the night we're going to be creating connection, cash, and chaos. Tonight in our pajamas. Did you like my...
Have you just come up with that?
Yeah.
I think you're possibly one of the smartest people I know for like just thinking outside the box. There's alliteration in there. There's fun and there's seriousness. Like the connection and the cash is the important stuff, and the chaos is the fun. You just churn out brilliance. I love it.
It's almost like I'm a marketer. I'm
almost.
But what I am is in my gym gear, so apologies for the state of me. But I wanted to go live because I think we think everyone knows everyone, don't we? And this was our thing. We realised when we met each other, we were like, oh, hi, I'm Helen. And you were like, oh, hi, I'm Mark. Because we didn't know each other. And that's how we speak.
Like first day at school, all shy and stuff.
Hi. Shall we be friends? And we are friends. But when we became friends, we realised that we had all of these other people who we already knew. And everyone was like, yeah, I know Helen. Yeah, I know Matt. Do you know Helen? Yeah, I know Matt. And we were like, oh, so everyone else knew each other except us.
Yeah.
But here we are.
The world is a better place now we're in it with each other.
Now our stars have aligned.
Yeah. Honestly, I've loved it. I've loved getting to know you. And I think like the thing you said when you came on my podcast was there's a really nice thing in the fact that we genuinely didn't know each other. So it was a very genuine, I've got no clue who you are. You've got no clue who I am. And we just got to know each other as people rather than this perception of the person we see online, which I think's, well, as you said, very rare.
It is very rare, but also like we are both clout chasers by nature, so don't even deny it, right? So we would probably been well nicer to each other if we'd have known how influential we both were, but we didn't. So we were just average nice.
And we probably would have thought each other was a knob if we'd have done that. So it's best we didn't.
But we'd have also seen the opportunity. What we didn't have was the opportunity. That we weren't looking at each other as like, you know, audience or, you know, authority or influence and thinking, oh, there's something in this for me. We were genuinely just like, oh,
yeah. And I think there's something to be said in that, as in, yes, go into these rooms with intention, but don't go into those rooms trying to be something you're not to get something you want. Like, just being yourself. The more, like, we're all bored of authenticity being a word, right? But it's a real thing of like genuinely just being yourself and not putting on a mask or a front or this kind of professional version of yourself. 9 times out of 10 just works so much better. So yeah, we're not saying don't be intentional, right? But it's just about not faking who you are. Because ultimately, if you get clients or collaborators from being fake, then you've got to keep that act up. And that would just be exhausting.
It's so tiring trying to be something that you're not.
It's tiring being me, but imagine being a fake version of me. That'd be even harder.
Imagine going to be 2 versions of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you know what? Like this, we are doing this live because I want to make sure everyone I know knows you too. And you know, you're coming into my world with my full stamp of approval, which is, you know, valuable to people who know me, because I think people are full of shit and they are bullshitters, and like we're, you know, I think we're both pretty sound people. That's why we're mates. Don't mean that we're perfect. I'm sure there's people got things to say about both of us, but I wanted to bring you in as if to say, like, look, this isn't just some random guy who's doing some random networking thing. Like, this is a good guy who's doing a good thing. And I've been to networking live before, and it was really fucking good. And you know what? I'm pretty light on the compliments. I've got to be honest. Like, I'm more likely to take the piss out of you than be nice to you. But I will tell you 2 things today that I thought about you. One is that I genuinely do want to go to this thing tonight. And Katie and I were both like, yeah, Sam, we're going to Matt's thing tonight, 7:30. I said, and not just because we're going because it's Matt. And I've been to many, many, many things because friends of mine have been putting them on, because I'm a good friend and a good supporter, and I like to show up, and I'm a good cheerleader and all the rest of it. I'll go to the ends of the earth to people if I rate them. I've been to some right shite things in my time, and I'll show up and I'll smile and I'll cheerlead and I'll do the thing. But when I went to the first one that you did of these, I was like, oh, this is actually good.
Yeah.
And I was actually into it, and I was actually like, and then I got up on the stage, like virtual stage, obviously, and it was all very exciting. And I remember coming out of my office thinking, that was good. Do you know what I mean? I feel better for going to it. Like, quite often things you feel worse for going, like you feel tired or drained, or like, you know, you have the soul sucked out of you.
Or you just didn't get anything out of it. You've just heard like somebody else once again, like bleat on about their backstory and what they've achieved and all their clients, and then they just give you like this sprinkle of so-called value, and then it's just into a big pitch, and you just go, for God's sake, again. That's been my experience a lot.
And it was good, and I thought it's useful for me, but also it was like a really genuine like opportunity for people to get to know you, because you are the showman. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that is your archetype, and you know, when you've got the stage, and the more people are watching, I bet the better you perform in a lot of ways, because you just that's your energy, right? You feed off it. So it was really good to be in that environment. The other thing that I really noticed today is that when I was like, oh shit, Matt's things tonight, and I've done nothing really to support him, and I was like, right, what can we do? Like, let's do a live, let's do this, let's do that. And then we've got the actual Business Mastery Live, which I'm a sponsor exhibitor at in 4 weeks. And I was like, right, shit, I need to really help make sure that I support Matt, so Matt thinks I'm great, so that I get more people in the room, so I can sell to them, right? So that was my thinking, and I was like, right, well, how can I do to support you? But when you message me back and you're like, anything, I'm so grateful, like, thank you so much, I really appreciate your support. I was like, I felt like you really meant it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I do, of course.
That's really sweet. It's rare. I
am genuinely grateful, because I know for all of us as business owners, we've all got the plate spinning, and then on top of that, we've got life. You know, for you, you've got being a parent. Like, there's all these plates, and I don't take it for granted. Like, for you to put my event and what I'm doing as a priority is massive, and I think it is important that not only we acknowledge it, but also we think how we can do that for others, because I'm genuinely a big believer in, we all hear these cliche quotes, which is collaboration, not competition, but very few people live it. Oh,
collaboration, not competition, Dave.
Is this Dave?
This is Dave.
Are you Dave? Yeah, so I think a lot of people say it, but very few people actually live it. And actually, those who do live it, in my experience, have more success themselves as a byproduct. It's like the default setting of helping more people and genuinely supporting is you tend to do better in life, generally speaking, as well. But to your other point about like it actually being good, I think for you and I, we've both been on so much shit that it's like you're able to identify why it was crap. And then you're able to just go to the core, which is, what do people actually need? If they're giving you what is their most valuable asset, in my opinion, which is their time, even if it's free, it doesn't matter. Like, what do they need to get from that to genuinely leave and go, that was a good investment of my time? And we know, as business owners, one of the hardest things is getting known, building trust, building relationships. So basically tonight is just 90 minutes of giving you as much opportunity as possible to get known, have conversations. We're expecting, I can give you the numbers. So we've got just over 600 people that have signed up. There's, I think, about 330, maybe more, already in the private Facebook group.
Yeah.
So I reckon we're definitely going to have 150 plus, I reckon, on live. So if you just think like that's a great opportunity to just get on camera, get known, speak. And obviously some people come on camera, some will do breakout rooms where you'll go into smaller groups. But everything is designed tonight, or that, everything is designed tonight to genuinely get something out of it. And I know multiple people messaged us last time saying they made money there and then in the room.
Yeah, nice.
Just off the result, which is ace, right?
I'm going to make some money. I am, you know what? I'm going to make some money. I'm coming to make some money. But I know I'm going to make some money because I'm going to go in on Katie's LinkedIn club, and it's 21 quid. And I know it's a no-brainer thing. So it's a really easy thing to sell to people in the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about that a lot, and then my 10K in 10 days thing. So I'm going at it, and I highly recommend everyone else not only signs up but goes at it, as I would say, with that intention. It's like, what can I actually sell to a room full of strangers who don't really know me, who at a price point that's going to make it easy for them to say yes, or what can I give them for free that's going to hook them into my world so I can sell to them later. And the thing is, Matt knows you're going to go and do that, so it's a networking night, and that's what I love about it. It's not Matt doing a masterclass where we all have to like pretend pitch in the comments by saying like, oh, this is really interesting, and did you know that on LinkedIn, blah, blah. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, I did on one of my posts today, someone slid in with a pitch. I was like, nice pitch, nice segue into what your business does, you know. Okay. I'm promoting my business. It's not that, is it? It's like a business networking. You're just creating the space, and you expect people to sell to each other in a pleasant
way. It'll be one of the few times in your life you get to slide into the DMs and not feel weird and icky, because everybody's doing it, and I'm going to have fun with it and say, come on, you can do that for each other. And that is rare. We spend so much time doing outreach and creating content and putting ourselves out there. And a lot of the time, you've got to work really bloody hard to get people's permission almost to have that conversation. Tonight, you don't have to.
Well, that's it. But also, like, fix up or look sharp, guys. How easy is it for you to get 150 people in a room? Probably not that easy. You know, it really isn't. It takes a lot. It's not just Matt's like, oh, I'm just going to put a thing out and get 150. And bear in mind, 630 registrations, by the way, not just put 150 people live in that room. It's not easy to do.
No.
Like, I can do it, but I don't need to do it. I can just hang about on Matt's thing. I don't need
exactly.
to do it. But for most people watching this, getting 150 people live on an event for yourself is either going to cost you a lot of time and energy or a lot of money. I don't know if you've run out for this, Matt.
Both. It was both.
Exactly. It's time, energy, money, compounding authority from being in every fucking room I go in. There he is. Yeah. Like, you know, I think we're like the same person. We just keep appearing in the same places.
That was our joke, wasn't it? It was like we don't know each other, and then next minute I'm like, oh, it's her again.
It's like everywhere we go, there we are. But like, all of that is just time served stuff that you don't have to do. Matt's had to get up and go to London and go to an event on 4 hours sleep, 2 nights on the bounce, because he's an absolute legend. I only did one, heavy enough. Like, Matt has been showing up in the room, speaking on the stages, doing the work, being a podcast guest, having people on his podcast guest, putting out all this fucking content, doing all the stuff. Look at him, he's knackered.
I actually am. Can you tell?
No. So you don't have to. So all you have to do is turn up.
And it's good vibes. Like,
what a gift. It is good vibes.
So like my membership, which is where people pay to be there. I know you're a member of it, Helen. So that's 35 quid a month. We've got nearly 350 members in there.
Yes.
And we've got the most amazing culture, because for years I've said time and time again, like, I want to attract people who are hardworking, dedicated, but they're not arseholes. And that was like the joke that we've said for years. But I'm really proud that we've actually got that now. So it'll be the same tonight. It's going to be a fun space. It's going to be a space where people genuinely support and encourage. And it's just a great opportunity to get yourself and your brand more known.
Do you want to know my top tip for tonight, if you're watching this and you're just lining up in the comments? Right. So my top tip is to get onto that call and find somebody you know in there. It's probably a good chance you'll know at least one person if you're in my world, Matt's world, right? Find somebody you know in there and shout them out in the comments.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, I probably know about 20 people, so I'll be able to do loads. So, like, I would always start there. It's like, who do I know? And if you don't know anyone, you've got Matt or me. But, like, who can I actually big up first before I start talking about myself, before about saying how great I am? I mean, I've always got Katie I can talk about, or there'll be somebody in there that I know. But I always think that's a really strong start when you're, like, in the comments. Because it's going to move fast. I remember last time the comments were moving really, really fast, and also I think it's okay. I mean, don't take the piss, but it's okay to maybe post about yourself more than once when it's going that fast. And particularly if you spot an opportunity or there's you can leverage it in somewhere. But don't be scared to get involved in the comments. But I think the best place to start is by bigging someone else up, either someone that you know, someone you've worked with, someone who you've been a client of, somebody who's been a client of yours, somebody you've just met at an event, somebody that you've seen speak. There'll probably be somebody somewhere that you'll have seen maybe on socials. And I would start with like giving first. I know we got all upset about International Women's Day. I didn't, because I think like the Go Giver is a book, if you've not read it, by Bob Berg, who is speaking at one of Leona's events, which I'm very excited about. Anyway, the idea of the book is that Go Givers get more.
Yeah.
And the idea is like, if you give first, you get more back. A bit like what you were saying. So I would come with that. I would think, who do I know and how can I make someone else feel great to get a little bit in the bank of goodwill before I then start to look for an extraction into my bank account.
Obviously. And also, like with that, I think there's a balance, isn't there, between being the annoying one that's like just going on and on and on in the chat and everyone's like, give it a rest now, pal.
Yes.
But also, don't be afraid to do a few comments in there. Like, I remember you were doing it. I remember there was Danny Wallace in there, like hammering the chat and stuff like that. Like, you know, people that people would perceive as like, they don't need to do this because they've got a really good following or whatever. You're still, when you're given the opportunity, you grab it. And there's something in that in terms of why you've been able to achieve what you've achieved, and you've still got that mentality and that attitude. One thing we're doing a little bit different this time is because the chat did just go wild, and it was like, how can you even start? And those that were on it last time will know I have one of the exercises is share like who you help, what you do, and a link to your social media so people can connect and follow you. This time we've done it in a Facebook group first. So I am trying to say to everybody, register for tonight, get in the Facebook group and get it in there first. So you can just take your time to sift through this thread that we've created. Because it just was all bonkers last time, wasn't it? It was
bonkers.
It was good fun.
Yeah, I would say be brave. If you are looking at this thinking, oh, I'm going to come, but I'm not going to say anything, I'm going to have my camera off and I'm just going to listen. That's great, but it's really not going to move your business forward. So, like, you've got to be bold, you've got to be brave, don't take the piss, but look for opportunities to help and support other people. And if you do, and I mean, in the breakout rooms as well, I would suggest that you are self-accountable. Obviously, again, don't take the piss. Don't take the opportunity and just squeeze the life out of it for everyone else. Make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. If you're used to curating rooms and you find yourself in a room, like I do it, can do it naturally. It's like hold the space for the other people who maybe haven't got the same level of confidence and things like that. So I would just look at it as a great opportunity that Matt's given you, like a gift from God. So take it, but don't take the piss.
Self-awareness, isn't it? Have a bit of that. Like there's a balance to be had between confidently telling us what you do and not just like going on and on and on.
Yeah, be respectful of everyone else's time and everyone else's energy. I think that's until you've curated lots of rooms, sometimes that can get a bit missed. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun. And you know what? I say this to people quite a lot, and I definitely say it a lot about people in the nicest possible way, is that this game is not for everybody. If you haven't got that entertainer energy, you're going to find it really difficult. The good news is Matt's got it in spades, so he's going to put on a show. Yeah, well, that's true though. You put on a good show, and that's important because you want to be entertained as much as you want to be given an opportunity to network, right?
There's a lot of people in this space, I think, that were performers, weren't they? Because it just lends itself naturally. But it's not to say you know that's what you have to be. But I think there has to be a level of you've got to show up with intention, and there's got to be a certain energy about you if you want to attract people. And that's just for life, full stop, right? That's not just business. That's just life. You want to attract people into your world, you've got to have something pretty attractive, if that makes sense. One thing I think we should touch upon as well, because obviously this is in association with my event that you're a sponsor of, which I'm very grateful for. Very excited to have you and Katie in the room. 4 weeks today.
4 weeks today.
We'll be about to head to the networking party, which I'm reluctant to call it a party. Let me tell you why, and I'd love your feedback. Because I think a lot of these parties, it's like just loud and stuff's happening. And I think when you've had speakers all day and you've been networking all day, you actually just want a bit of time that's chilled vibes, can have conversations. So yes, there'll be music, but it's going to be more background music, vibes.
Jazz lounge.
Ish. It's a bit posh, that, for me. But that going more towards that. Just where you have space to talk, basically, properly.
Like my playlist, because you couldn't afford a DJ.
That's exactly what we're going for. I could afford one, but I genuinely, the conversation was, let's not do it. Because I just think, you know what we're like, right? You go all day, and then if you get the chance to party, we're going to be like, wait, party. And actually, it would have been probably more useful to just have proper conversations.
Yeah, for sure. I think I 100% think that's a great way to go with it. I really do, actually.
4 weeks from now, we'll be about to head to the party. We'll be in Leeds at the Queen's Hotel. One thing that I have been reflecting on, I'd love your thoughts on this, because there's been this criticism out there recently, which is valid, completely valid, which is people are evented out. People are bored of seeing the same speakers and being in the same rooms and blah, 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 blah. And I've reflected on that because I've felt that. Like, don't get me wrong, I've felt that. And I get results by still going anyway. And I think when we put the emphasis on, oh, I've seen that person before, or there's people in that room I've met before, I think we miss, and this is a really key point I want just people to reflect on, that depth of relationship isn't built by meeting someone once and then having a bit of follow-up on Instagram. It's like when you're seeing people and having experiences in these curated environments over and over again, that's where you build like proper relationships. So I just want to put that out there as just a bit of a thing to consider. If I reflect on this last 18 months has been my time of really focusing on visibility, and people are like, Matt, where have you come from? You seem to be everywhere. And it's actually, this is coming up to my 16th year since I started my first business, 7 years with my online business coaching. It's not like I've just come out of nowhere. But what I did do is last year I set myself a goal of minimum one in-person event every month. And the reality is it ended up being 7 or 8 in-person events every month. Like, I absolutely caned it. I'm not saying everyone needs to do the same, but a lot of them I was seeing the same people and over again. And my business has had by far the most successful year ever. Like this time last year, like a 10K month was like, woo, now we regularly do 50K months, which is the one biggest thing that has moved that needle from 10K to 50K months is this going to events consistently. So I just want to share that. I don't know what your thoughts. You might disagree.
I think it's really interesting, actually, and we could probably unpack it more in a longer conversation. But like, I definitely am that person. I'm like, I'm evented out. I'm sick of it. Same people. But you're dead right. It's I still go to them, and I still want to go to them, and I still enjoy them, and I still got a lot out of them. So it's almost like it's like the pub, isn't it? So think about when you have a local, right? When you have a local, and when you first start going in, obviously you don't know anyone. It's all a bit weird, right? And then before you know it, you've been in plenty of times, and the bar people know you because they're paid to know you. And then you start like one day. I'm actually thinking about our local pub actually because we moved here about 7 months ago. And then one day there's no seats apart from on the big seat where all the regulars sit. So they've seen you a couple of times. They go, just sit with us on the end. So you sort of perch on the end and you feel a bit weird, but you you're in the conversation then. And then before you know it, like this is the truth about the pub where we're at. Stu's in there about 3 or 4 times a week. He's in the golf society now. Goes to the quiz on a Monday. We all go to the quiz sometimes on a Monday. He does poker on a Sunday. We're in there, on a Tuesday. We had his 40th, his 47th birthday party there. And suddenly we are like the most regulars ever. And that's happened in like 7 months. And that's just from sheer it's consistency and proximity.
It is huge. Like this is everybody's always looking for what's the secret, and everybody's selling this is the secret. It's volume. It's how it's keep showing up in the same places over and over again. And then, like you say, you become the chair of the golf club or whatever. But it's like our equivalent is like whatever our equivalent is. But that's the secret. Everybody's always looking for a new hack or a new tip or a new strategy. And obviously you've got to get your fundamentals in place. Like you've got to actually be good at what you do and all that stuff, which we know. But then when it comes to amplifying your brand and building that audience and building that trust and all the stuff that we want, just do the same shit on repeat. It's volume.
Nothing beats in person. It's got to be
agree.
Nothing beats it because it although it's exhausting and sometimes really boring, and this is what I'm saying, like I will say to people, I'm really tired or I'm really bored or I've seen this a million times or I don't want to listen to these speakers because I'm sick of being sold to it. Like I'll just say that straight. But it doesn't mean I'm not having a good time. It just means that like I've almost transcended the event. And I'm there purely for the people and the relationships and the networking and the getting to know and hanging out and taking Katie with me. So it's again such a trip because I'm watching her develop it in real time.
Yeah.
And early on, she said to me, "Why do you go to these things? You're complaining about it." Because it's really important to me. and I love it really. And I think that's
Yeah.
I love
It's
it
all
really.
that. It's all
It's all
that.
an act. Yeah, it's just it's what I could have said. What I said at the big festoon. I said something, and everyone just looked at me. I was like, "Oh, I'm just going for a cheap laugh. That's it. I just want a cheap laugh."
Yeah.
Ultimately, events are what you make them, and I think
Yes.
you do evolve from going and lapping up every speaker because you've never seen speakers before, to going and lapping up half of it because you've learned or you've moved forward through of it. So you just go in and a speaker can hit you in a way that you just never even
So true.
expected before because you just weren't ready to hear it. And quite often people or situations or events or whatever that trigger you, you can go to them another time and feel completely different about them.
So true.
And it's almost like you just got to keep going, and because you're always changing and evolving, it's always going to make you feel something. You can go to an event and have a terrible time, and you go to the same event and have a great time, and the event's not changing, and the event shouldn't change for you. I didn't someone else who I won't mention, we had a conversation, and she was like, "Are you coming to my event?" And I was like, "No, because of this was what happened last time, and this is what was on the stage or whatever last time, and I didn't enjoy it." And she was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "Because it's not my business what you do at your event. I can just choose not to go again." You know what I mean? And we can still get on and be friends, and I can see why there's a lot of value in it. So you have to have self-accountability and self-responsibility anyway. But I would never feed back to event organizers because it's their event. It's nothing to do with me, really. It's like
and the point you made there, people are going to change. That's one of the biggest things, and I've seen that with various things. Like someone can have an opinion of something, you do the same thing a year later, and they have a totally different opinion because they've changed. Yeah. They've been on their journey, and I think like what you said there, because I totally agree, and I say it all the time. There's no substitute for getting in the rooms. Like we can do Zooms, we can do online, but let's put that theory to the test. Because you and I met in a room. Like if we actually think this out loud now. I consider that we've got a genuinely lovely relationship where we genuinely support each other and get on and have a laugh and all that stuff. And anything you ever need, like if I can do it, I'm doing it. And it's as simple as that. And we've not known each other that long. It's what, 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there any equivalent where we could have got that bond in that amount of time than spending a full day and night with each other? No, that sounds wrong. You know what I mean? We had dinner as a group, but like what that's that one day a night. Like, what's the online equivalent that would build that depth?
It'd be hours and hours and hours, wouldn't it? It'd be hours of it, days of it,
conversations,
weeks of it, months of it, conversations and messages and back into. Nothing just beats being in the environment because it's experiences you have together as well, isn't it? We've been to maybe in 7 months, I bet we've been to 6, 7 events together. Yeah. So we've had all of those shared experiences. It's like going on like a lad's holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, remember that time we did that? You know when that happened? Or do you remember when this happened? Or do you remember? It's like, it's annoying for people around us probably.
Yeah.
Because we're so bonded.
Yeah.
In that we've been through all these experiences together. We've had all this shared stuff happen. We've had all these like laughs and jokes and secret jokes. You know, like all of this stuff is annoying to other people.
I'm thinking to the people behind you in the cafe. No, not the cafe, the restaurant the other night.
What when we were sat there in the bar?
In the bar.
When they were having the PDA.
Correct.
Well, more than a PDA. It was absolutely wild.
It was wild.
That sort of thing just doesn't happen when you only chit chat online. You have to be in the room with those people, with your Helen getting the bar open again. It was just legendary status. And that couple just don't even know what they were doing. Behind me, I was trying not to look.
Yeah, completely. But you can't help but look.
Just all of this stuff is so hard to explain. That how important that is for business relationships. But is it though, really? Because think about the 90s. I was a recruiter in the 90s. We used to take all our clients for lunch.
I was a toddler.
We'd take all our clients for lunch. We'd go out drinking together. We'd go out, like, go to conferences. We'd stay, like, that's how you all bonded together. Because that's how companies do it, don't they? They send you on away days. That's how they create culture within an organization. It's all about all going to the conference, all going to the away days, all going to the, like, team building. It's almost like, I think it's like the online space is a visual equivalent of building a whitewater raft in Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, and genuinely, it's less crap. Like I like genuinely, I think these kind of events like what we're putting on, and like we've just been at the Big Festoon by Danny Wallace, and those kind of things generally, it's not like your stuffy, everybody with a name badge and like it's genuinely a good vibe, and it's fun, and it's genuinely informative. There's opportunity everywhere if you're intentional about it. And you can build relationships with people who are not just great for business, but genuinely friends for life. That's what you get out of these rooms.
And it's the same thing as I was saying about your event tonight, your online event. It's the same thing. You're sweating blood, sweat and tears, money, time, energy, all that compounding stuff. You and Danny and Liz and Nick and all those people that are putting on these events, going to Kerry's event on Friday, all these people around me who are running these events for me. I just have to show up. People say to me, Liz McCullen's like, Helen, you need to do an event. Yeah, I'm like, mate, I can't be anything worse than doing an event. She's like, well, you can make all this money. And I'm like, I can make all that money out from other people's events. I don't have to do anything but show up. Like, what a gift is that for me? So although I might complain about events, I love them and I go to them religiously because that's how I make my money.
Yep.
I always make my money in a roundabout way, Big Festival was really funny because I was like, nobody's going to give me any money because everyone knows me and they all love me and they've either bought from me or but in a roundabout way, that was where I was speaking more with a couple of really important key connections for me. Again, deepening that relationship, like me and Paul, particularly Paul McGivney, like really talking about autumn and the future of autumn, that kind of stuff. Like, I just wouldn't have those conversations with Paul if I wasn't just in the room with him.
Yeah.
And last time I saw Paul, we talked about something that potentially, it's all mind-blowing stuff, but it just wouldn't happen in the room because people like me and you, naturally, we just forget about people because we're so busy with other stuff going on. And you only have room for a certain amount of like best business friends. I've had a succession of them, I do have best business friends and I have small groups, small intentional, like inner circle types and all that kind of stuff. But outside of that, I just forget everyone exists. And it's not because I don't love them, it's just I forget about them. So being at an event puts them back in front of me and puts me back in front of them, literally in their faces. Like, oh my God, not seeing friend. Oh my God, how's things? And then suddenly you're back, having a conversation, and that can lead to all kinds of opportunities. So events are a gift. They're not a chore to go to. They're a gift. So someone else has done all the hard work. So you can just literally walk in to all of that opportunity.
You speak about, to your point there, you speak about bandwidth, don't you? And we only have like so much. And when it comes to like relationships, when you're doing so much and you're delivering so much in your business, you're right. You only have certain people that come front of mind or whatever. But I can say, like I say, with my membership, 350 people in there, there's people who I just sort of knew their name. Mm-hmm. That now when I see their name, I have an entirely different relationship because they came to the in-person stuff. So, and it's all those little things compounded over time that get you to build really, they get you to solidify your space in an industry. It's not enough to just do the online stuff. And obviously the online stuff's brilliant. But as we say, there's no substitute. The real stuff comes from in the rooms.
And going to the same events over and over again, I think is a big strategy that I think some people maybe miss. It's going to them again and again and again. Like Expo Empires, Big Festoon, both two events that I've gone to every single one for the last few years, and that they do them twice a year normally. So that's 8 times I've paid my money, got my ticket, gone and shown my face. And each time, like the pub, it becomes more and more comfortable, more and more the connection deeper, the vibe's going to be like, the energy's like Katie with the Big Festoon, this is a 4th or 3rd, and she's like, right, ready for the most exhausting 2 days of the year. And I'm like, off we go, let's go. But she loves it, and you can tell she just buzzed off it, and she wants to go to every single one that Danny does, and vice versa. I'm sure like you're the same with certain events. They just go in the diary, don't they? And I think
100%,
I think that's useful to think about as well, is that you might have gone to an event once and felt a certain kind of way, but maybe if you go again and again, then suddenly become part of the furniture. Like Lindsay, really, really good example. Lindsay, who you had on your podcast, Lindsay McClone, who said on your podcast that she hates when people call her Linz, and I was like, oh my God, please don't.
It's even better that you spelt their name wrong.
Oh, did I?
I told you, I when you do the comment the word below for the automation to get the podcast, You had to type the name Lindsay, but you spelt it with an E instead of an A, I think.
Oh yeah, well,
so
exactly.
it didn't trigger the automation.
Exactly. But it's only really through going to the Big Festoon 3 or 4 times that I've actually built what I would consider, a pretty good relationship, friendship. And I just think she's amazing, and I can't, I saw that she's speaking at Atomicon, which was great. And so things like that, isn't it, that would only really happen in the room. And I've bought Lindsay's stuff, so it all.
And also, there's a flip side to this for those who are going to really amplify my brand. I want to get on those bigger stages, which I know not everybody does. Like, how has Lindsay got onto Atomicon? Well, they were going to Atomicon multiple times and making sure that they were visible whilst there and having conversations. And that's the other thing. I think quite often we'll get pitched to speak on our stage. I'm like, I don't really bloody know who you are. But actually, if that it's that whole thing of like going on a date with somebody, like you don't just jump into bed with them kind of analogy. Actually, if you come to my events and be speaking to me, I'm going to be much more inclined. Like, I've got a relationship with you now. I get your aura, I get your energy, I get your vibe because I've actually met you a few times. And I respect that you're investing in getting in our rooms. You're not just wanting to immediately take from them. So that's another thing as well from consistently showing up and being seen there.
And also people know people, don't they? So like I was able to introduce you to people when we go to different events and all the rest of it. And it's like, oh, sure, you two know each other. Oh, you don't. Well, you need to kind of thing. And there's that element of going to events and being in the room. It's like, again, I like to consider myself a really good introducer and a really good networker naturally and a cheerleader. But again, because I forget about people. And then suddenly I can see 2 people in a room and I'm like, oh, you two definitely know each other, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no. And I was like, oh, this is, and I did it at Big Festoon. So introduced Sophie to Dell, who was looking for someone for a board thing. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But those 2 people from 2 different worlds, if you know what I mean, both in my world, but in the Venn diagram, they hadn't quite touched. So I was able to go, here you go. And I think, make them touch in the room. So I think that's another thing about events as well. So how are you feeling, Matt, about tonight and also about Business Mastery Live in Leeds?
So tonight, I'm just excited. I need to go through my slides because it's been a bit of a manic day. There's been a lot going on. I just need to make sure I'm very clear on what I'm delivering. But tonight is genuinely about giving opportunity to everybody that shows up as best as we can. As I say, my calculations would suggest around 150 people plus, I reckon, are going to be with us. We might be a bit short, we might be a bit more. But either way, over 100 people in a room coming together with good energy. And I just know it works. It's a simplistic formula that we know works. It gets people results. It gets them starting conversations, building relationships, getting more known. So tonight I'm super excited about Business Mastery Live, 4 weeks to go. Absolutely shitting myself. There is still a billion trillion things to do. Like, even if I don't sleep an hour between now and 4 weeks, it'll be tight getting everything done because the sheer scale, like this is not only our biggest event from the size of like the capacity and the size of the venue, but it's also, we've got some of our highest profile speakers with people like Daniel Priestley and Scott Thomas. Daniel, who, by the way, has yet again been on Diary of a CEO today. He just can't stay away from the show.
Can't stay away. That's his 5th
Second
time.
biggest show in the world. Yeah. And he's joining us. He's actually doing an Instagram live with me this Wednesday. By the way, he's been brilliant. Like, genuinely, him and his team, so over-delivering. But it's also our first 2-day event. So there's the scale of it and the amount of like moving parts. It's just huge. It's exhausting, but it's equally, as with most things in life, the most rewarding thing to do. Like the hardest things are often the most rewarding. So I know it's going to be worth it. And I genuinely care about delivering one of the best events of the year, which is why it's so hard for me, because you can't be the best and it be easy, right? It's going to be hard. So yeah, all I would say to people is, give us a go, bet on us. One part of the ethos for us is making sure that, for me, as somebody who started a business nearly 16 years ago, I just didn't know events like this were happening in the North, because they weren't. Like, there is more now with like your big Festoons and your Atomicon. Like, luckily there is more. But for years I had to go to London or Brighton or America and all the, like, for this caliber of kind of lineup and event. And so for me, it's about leveling the playing field. It's about giving these opportunities to entrepreneurs, business owners, content creators in the north of England, and saying we can do it just that good as that too. So yeah, just please get your tickets, join us. It's going to be incredible. It genuinely is. And something I want to just champion is we're really, really been thinking about how we make this experience as I guess, kind of comfortable, safe for everybody. So we've really been getting consulted on things like inclusion, diversity. We've partnered with a kind of buddy business called Event Allies. So anybody, when it comes to things like feeling nervous and anxious about being in the room, and when it comes to things like going on your own and not knowing anybody, what they're going to do is create like a WhatsApp group a few weeks beforehand. They're going to reach out to you. If you want to be met by one of the team at the train station, they're going to, like, we've really tried to think about the whole user experience. And another thing, which I know there's a lot, but we want to make sure, again, you get results from being in the room. So we've got kind of a really big company. We'll be talking more about it soon, but they're developing behind the scenes something so that you scan a QR code when you arrive, and it talks you through like a personalized guide to help you identify what do you actually need to get out of these 2 days. And once you've figured that out, well, what do you need to focus on the most? And it's going to give you, and then for 90 days afterwards, it's going to check in with you. So we're really thinking from every angle, not only how do we make this a great event, but how do we genuinely make it an event that gets results for people? So that's why I'm knackered, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
What I would say about your event is the aim is for people attending to get a return on their investment, not just in a roundabout way, but in a tangible way from the things that they learn and execute from that.
Correct.
Day. Yes. Do you want me to come early and help you put the chairs out or anything?
Anything you can do, I'll have you.
We're coming up the night before, so we can help out the night before, and if you need me and Katie to help with stuff, and you know.
I appreciate it. Literally, whatever you can do, clean the toilets, anything. Yeah, put the brochures out.
It's out. It's a lot. I know you've not got a massive team as well, so like if we can be your quasi team for the weekend, help you as much as we can.
I appreciate you. And it is true, because we are trying to do something on an epic scale as a really small team. But look, it's great. We're well on our way now to 300 tickets sold. Our target is just over 400 we'd like in the room. Whatever happens, we're going to have a great environment. Yeah. And literally, what I love about our community and the people coming to this event is it does range from people that have literally just started in business. They've not even yet had their first client, to people who are doing millions annually, and every step in between. It is really such a great range. So wherever you're at in business, there'll be somebody that you can feel aligned with, and somebody who's on a similar journey. And there's also people you can learn from, and all that kind of stuff.
Love that. I love that. It's true, isn't it? I think a lot of people focus a lot on, I want to be in the right rooms. And I've probably said it, and people around me say it all the time. But sometimes I'm a bit like, well, let's just get in the room first and see who's in there.
Right.
You know, because there's to be something for everyone to learn off each other, as much as it doesn't really matter on your revenues per se. But anyway, that again for another time. Okay, I'll let you go because you've got to go and do your slides for tonight.
Yes, I do. Yes,
I've got to go and have my tea and a glass of wine and get in my pajamas ready for 7:30.
And get ready to bring the vibe.
I'll be bringing the vibes, but from my sofa. I've got my heated blanket heating right now. I'm not actually going to sit in my office for it, so I'm going to come at you from my laptop. I'm sure I'll be just as efficient, just not look as professional.
I've just seen there's a button here, stream this to your audience. Does that mean I could have streamed that?
You could have streamed it, Matt.
That'd have been nice, wouldn't it?
It would have been great, but you can just share it now.
There we go. We'll do that. Right.
So don't forget, click the link, wherever it is, and join us tonight at 7:30 in your pajamas. Don't forget to shout out someone else first before you shout at yourself.
Great tip.
Right, I'll see you tonight.
Take care, everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
Helen.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.